If you ask any 3D artist for a list of their least favorite parts of the job, UVs will likely be near the top of the list, especially if that artist is a beginner. It can be tedious, it's not particularly creative, and it feels sort of in the way of getting to the end where the model looks good with all of its materials and lighting. Well, what if I told you there's another way? There is, and it's called tri-planar mapping. It may not work in every situation, but it does work in most. You certainly won't be exporting a mesh without first creating UV maps, but tri-planar mapping allows for flexibility while still working on the scene without having to update a map every time a change is made. And it works like this. Imagine your texture set as 3 planes being projected onto your model from 3 different axes and blending together where they overlap, hence the name. Start a scene with an object in it and switch to material preview mode. Any object will do, but something with rounded surfaces will show how this works a little better. Open a material editor and create a new material with a simple PBR setup. On the coordinate node, you'll see a few sockets indicating different coordinate methods that are available to you. Connect the object socket from here to the vector socket of the mapping node. Now the textures look a little stretched. To fix this, go to each of the image texture nodes and change the projection method from flat to box. This fixes the stretching, but produces seams where each of the projections meet. Each of these image nodes now has a blend amount field. Move this until the balance between noticeable seam and too much blur looks acceptable. And that's it. But before you go, just a quick note on the blending field. Depending on the scale of your texture and even the texture itself, seams may not even be visible. So your blend amount is not always imperative. Of course, this doesn't work for every texture out there. Things like wood grain or stripes or checker patterns, that sort of thing, you will notice the areas where that blend overlap occurs. So this is a great procedural, temporary method for mapping your materials. Of course, you can always bake this down to a UV map if you're going to be exporting and it'll look just fine. But this does save you the effort of having to unwrap everything with UVs while you're working on a scene. With that, I hope you found this video helpful. If you did, please like, comment, and subscribe. Until next time, this has been Carl with Blender Forge. Happy blending.